Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope that I am finding everyone in good spirits and well. So, it seems like every time I want to do a video on certain things, my ring light. Anyway, the universe is like, no, talk about this. So, the universe has been telling me I need to further talk about parenting your inner child. And every time I think about parenting your inner child, this is what I think about. I have three children. One of them is a boy. I always wanted a son. I literally only wanted sons. Like I wanted six sons because I didn't grow up around like I was the only child. So I finally had my son, and this is how the brain works subconsciously and unconsciously. I always fed into and allowed him to live in his imagination, right? Because when you facilitate and feed into your child's imagination, you open up a whole world for them. They think outside of the box, they don't think the norm. Now, growing up, my mother kind of fed into my imagination because if you know me, I absolutely believe in unicorns. I absolutely believe in my real form, I am a unicorn. Like I can go back and forth. She kind of played into that aspect of my life. And with that, that made me have a big imagination. That made me be able to think outside of the box on a whole bunch of things that people who parents did not feed into those things would never understand. You look at me like I'm weird, and I'm looking at you like you're weird because why don't you have an imagination, right? So every time I think about parenting my inner child, I think about this time when I used to, the day after not Thanksgiving, the day after Halloween, I would literally go to like Walmart and I would buy all of the costumes. Like my son wanted to be a paleontologist. He was saying that since he was two, he could literally say the word paleontologist, okay? And he would say he wanted to be a paleontologist. And I would go and I would buy up all of the Star Wars, even though I'm a Trekkie. They don't have Star Trek uniforms and shit like that. Anyway, I would buy all the Star Wars costumes, dinosaur costumes, Transformers. And he had more costumes than he had clothes. And I would allow him. I allowed the children to pick out their own clothes. If we was going out that day, because mind you, I was a stay-at-home mom, and we would do little field trips because I was kind of teaching them things at home, more science-based than anything. But we would go on little field trips, and I would allow the children to pick out their clothes. Again, feeding into their personality. You have to feed into your children's personality, and you have to know your children's dislikes and likes, and because again, parenting has to be customized to each child, and I didn't know that with the first things that I did with the two younger children were because I would sit back and be like, this is just because that's what happened to me growing up. I didn't like it. I'm not going to do it with them. Because then I figured I actually had a voice, even though I was dealing with a person, my ex. That's another subject. Okay. Anyway, so I would buy all those costumes and I would feed into his, because he had a very big imagination. I would feed into those. In this particular time, I had decided that we, as a family, we're going to go on a family outing. So that meant it was me, three children, and my husband. It was always difficult, to say the least. So Kingston comes out and he has on his dinosaur, his T Rex costume, which I knew he would probably pick that because that was one of his favorite costumes. And he would literally walk around like he was T Rex. No matter where we went, we would go to Fry's, he's walking around with his hands like this, and he's walking like T Rex. The shit did not bother me. He's a child. It irked the shit out of the husband. So this particular time, we are getting ready to go somewhere. He got on his T Rex outfit with his cowboy boots. Not a problem. Here's where the problem started. His father had a damn problem with it. He says to my son, well, our son, you can't wear that. Go change your clothes. Now, mind you, I am the primary caregiver of these children. If anyone says anything to them about what they should or should not be doing, the first person they're going to look at is me because I am the person who has been with them since birth and I'm there every day. I am their primary caregiver, which he had a problem with. Somebody had to go to work, someone had to be home with the children. I'm home with the children, right? Kingston looks at me and I look at him, the dad, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, what the fuck is going on here? He says, you need to go change clothes. And I say to him, why does he need to change his clothes? He says, because this isn't right. He shouldn't be wearing it out. But where the hell is he going to wear it? He got more costumes than clothes. So he's sitting up here trying to prove his point, and you can never prove your point with me when you are trying to tell a child how to dress. If he wasn't trying to go outside naked, whatever the hell he put on was what he wanted to wear. And that's just it. And you parents who try to tell children what they can and cannot wear, if it's not inappropriate, leave them the hell alone. You need to customize your parenting to your children. I customize my parenting to him because I bought the costumes. So me and him get into a little argument. One thing about me, I'm going to always advocate for my children. I don't care who the hell it is. I don't care who it is. Okay? I'm going to stick up for my children and I don't care how it looks. And I say to him, I just feel like you worried about the wrong damn thing. Why do you care about what he's wearing? He says, because it's embarrassing. And I said, it's embarrassing to who? You a grown ass man. Why do you care about what this little 3-year-old is wearing? Needless to say, he wore his damn costume. That left his dad feeling some type of way, and I didn't care because, again, I'm not your parent. I'm his parent, and I'm going to make sure that he feels comfortable in whatever it is that he's doing. So that's not my problem. But when I got to thinking about the parenting your inner child, this is what I realized. There is not a handbook about parenting. And a lot of times, us children who feel like we were not parented the way we needed to be parented, we feel jaded and we feel almost misled. I know I do. Into thinking that parenting is one way when parenting is a thousands of billions of ways because each child is different and you have to know your child. This is what I realized. We're dealing with me. Not me parenting my children, but how I was parented. A lot of parents don't know their children. They don't get to know their children. And what I was dealing with is, and this is no shade against my mother, I never saw the human side of her. I never saw a side of her where I had a connection. She's like, oh, there's a human connection. I never got that. And I still don't to this day. Um, the way she maneuvers into the world is just an unrealistic maneuvering to me because I've lived in the real solid world. And no, nothing against her that I feel like she hasn't really lived in the real world. So we don't have a connection. And the problem with that is a lot of parents do not show their children their human side. When, as a child, we want to see that human side of you. We want to see and we want to know the things that you did. My thing is, I tell my children the truth no matter what. No matter what they ask me, I will tell them the truth. And if I feel like I cannot, which is rare, I'm an open book. I will tell them, you know what? I don't think you're ready to hear this. Now, my mother's thing about that is, and she'll say this and it irks me, children should know everything that you did. Well, why not? If one of my children felt so comfortable to come to me and say, you know what, I thought about doing crack. I use this as an example and no, I've never done crack. But if one of my children come to me and say, you know, Mom, I was thinking about doing crack. And let's say I did crack. And when I did the crack, it was a bad experience for me. As a mother, as a parent, I'm going to say to my kid, oh my God, you know what? I don't think you should do that. And I'm going to tell you why. There should be a why. When you tell your kids not to do something and you know that you did it, there should be a why they shouldn't do it, right? And I'll be like, you know what? Back in 1984, I tried crack. I ended up in jail or whatever the hell, you know? Show them that human side so that they can be like, you know what? My mother has never lied to me. And if she says she did crack and it turned out really bad, I don't think I want to do crack. I feel like if a lot of parents were open to their children about things that they did in their lives, a lot of children would make better decisions, right? But you got to have that connection with your children. Your children have to be able to trust you. One thing that I know, you should never lie to your children. And what kills me is when parents lie to their children and then children lie to their parents, the parents are so fucking upset. And I always sit back and say, well, you set the foundation. You showed them that lying is okay. And now you're offended that they lied to you. I don't lie to my children. I don't care what they're asking me and how it's going to make me look. I'm going to tell them the truth. And I'm telling them the truth because I know what it feels like to have a parent to lie to you. And I don't want my kids lying to me. I want to be the, whatever they're going through, they come to me. And so I'm that way because of how I was raised. And that is another section of me parenting my inner child. So I'm saying this to say to you people out there who are listening, who have graced my page, and I appreciate it. If you are raising children, you have to be authentic no matter what that looks like. You have to show up no matter what that looks like. If you're an alcoholic, sober up when your kids need you to show up for school events. Kids don't care about money. They don't care about what the hell you bought them. They only care about you showing up, no matter how you showed up. Just don't embarrass them, right? So be authentic. Show up. Show them the human side of you to a certain extent, depending on their age. But the most important thing that I am going to say to you is always be yourself, no matter what. When I tell you that I played into my kids' imagination so much that my son completely thinks outside of the box. My son is more thought thinking than a lot of men and women that I know who are older than him, who are my age, almost 50. And so is my teenage daughter, who's 19, because I allowed them to have a voice. And they tell me, thank you for allowing me to have a voice. My mother and my ex used to have an issue with me allowing the children to have a voice, even with my oldest, to the point where I was exhausted. And the one thing that I regret is I didn't I didn't put them in their place when it came to my firstborn. I allowed them to cultivate how she acts, and she acts just like them. And that's just the truth. And I don't like it. I don't like people that sit around and make up things inside their head and their lies and they believe them. But that's a topic for another day. We're talking about parenting the inner child. And I'm talking about you parents parenting your children's inner child and cultivating those kind of connections, allowing them to explore their imagination and allowing them to be them. My middle kid, she's into heavy metal. We go to concerts. She dresses alternative. She's alternative. And I love that for her. When I tell you, when I started posting like pictures and videos of us at concerts, the amount of people who was in saying, "You're better than me," I wouldn't have went to that concert. I know you wouldn't. That's why she didn't ask you. She asked me because I'm a mother and I'm going to allow her to be her. But she wouldn't have asked me to do those things had I not showed her that it is okay to be you. And so I'm saying to the adults who are trying to parent their inner child, it is okay to be you. It is okay to be different. It is okay to be weird. You do not have to conform to what society says, especially black people. I can really only talk to black people because we got it hard growing up in a black household. Shit, you listen to rock music or heavy metal music, they're saying you listen to satanic music. You dress goth, oh, you're worshiping the devil. It's just so much bullshit that has to do with aesthetics instead of black parents just allowing you to be you. I'm here to tell you, no matter what your age is, it is okay to be you. If you want to dress up like damn vampire every day of your damn life, do you? You don't have to please everybody. At the end of the night, before you lay your head down, you should reflect on your day and you should be like, did I make myself the happiest that I could be? And that's the only thing that you care about. You're not going to be out there being malicious to other people, but at the core of it all, your inner happiness, your inner spirit being at peace is the only thing that you need to be worried about. All the other shit around you is not that important. You gotta be happy with you. So I want to encourage those people who saw the other video about parenting your inner child. Parent your inner child. And if you are raising children, parent those children, customize the parenting to those children to meet those children needs so that they're not having to do what? Parent their inner child when I'll be 50 in September and I am parenting my inner child because she was not parented the way she needed to be parented. So I guess I'm going to leave you with this. Because every time I want to do a video about what I want to talk about, the spirit is like, no, talk about this. So I guess that's what I'm going to leave with. So the lasting thought with Eliza is be you. Do not worry about what others think about you because you know what I'm realizing is however you are going to eventually meet your village. You are going to eventually meet people who are just going to completely get you and you don't have to go into all this explanation. So be you, be weird, be different, be yourself. Don't worry about what it looks like to other people because they don't matter. At the end of everything, you're the only thing that matters to you. Love yourself, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your weird quirks, fall in love with your weird, whatever the hell it is. Fall in love with that aspect of yourself because at the end of it, it's going to be a beautiful experience for you. And so I guess that's my lasting thought with Eliza. Parent yourself, be you, be weird, be different. Don't be cookie cutter. Think outside the box. It is okay because you're going to meet like minded people and you're going to meet your village.